This is how you swap out the modules on a Accent E310 or a wall hung toilet. You're gonna need a drill, Phillips head. If you don't have a drill, you can use just a Phillips head screwdriver, the magnets that came with the toilet, and an adjustable wrench. You're gonna start by unplugging the, or turning off the water at the angle stop, and then with a towel or a bucket, you can sit that underneath so you can actually unplug the water supply line from the angle stop. And then after you do that, you'll go ahead and unplug the power supply. Once the power supply is off, you can go ahead and lift the seat and the lid and put it at an angle to get that off. And using the magnets, you can remove the top cover. They'll go on each corner right there until they lock themselves in. And then you'll push toward you, and you'll kind of push back to get it off. To take off the module, there's 4 Phillips head screws holding it. You just have to loosen them so the spring holds it up. You don't want to go too far because then the nut that holds them will fall all the way out. So again, just enough to where you're able to turn the clamps. Same for the bottom 2. And when you do that, you can move these locks out of the way. Start at the back. And then you can pull the screws out of the way for the front and pick up the entire module. This section right here will have water in it that holds for the bidet. You can go ahead and empty that out into the toilet bowl. Once all the water is clear, you can unthread this water supply line. You might need the adjustable wrench to start it off, and then you can twist the rest off with your hand. You're going to use this later for the new module. Once you have the new module, you go ahead and reinstall the water supply line. Just thread it in by hand at first. And then you can give it another quarter turn with the wrench. It's easier with a smaller one, but if you're using a bigger one, you just go at an angle till it's snug. And you can thread both of the lines back in. Power cord on the right, water supply on the left. Get these tabs out of the way so it can drop down. Once those ones are in, you can push the module back and pull back on these ones so the tab lifts over the white plastic. And then you can put that back in. Then you just tighten all these down. When you tighten these ones right here, you're gonna make sure that this little bracket is facing vertical so that it kind of gets stuck in this hole. So it should pretty much look like that on all 4 corners. They don't need to be tightened too tight. If you have an automatic screwdriver, probably about half torque. To get the top cover back on, you're going to make sure that these acrylic holes line up with these acrylic pins. That will connect this port to there. There's also these lips right here. Those will tuck underneath these 2 tabs. So you kind of angle it until it falls in. Once you're right there, then you can again make sure those pins are connecting to those holes and drop it down. Once it's in there, you'll push back toward the wall and that'll lock it in place. Then you can go ahead and reattach the lid and toilet seat. Get one side up against the edge and then you'll pinch in with your finger on the other side. Drop it down. And then you'll slowly move the toilet lid and seat together until you hear it click in. If everything drops slowly, then it's connected properly. Once you get the module, top cover, and the lid and seat on, then you just make sure to re-plug in your water supply line, and then after, you'll go ahead and plug the toilet up to the power, wait for it to start on, and then make sure you test the flush and examine the bottom of the toilet to make sure nothing's leaking, that you threaded that water supply line on back correctly. Is there anything else you're supposed to say?